So a couple things, we'll get to our visitors. First item is that we have a request to add an agenda item. We're going to follow up action on the digital sign that you guys talked about last month. To get the right make it. Here's the vote on that, or?
I'm sorry.
We have to vote on that in terms of that follow up action.
No.
Is there?
If I turn that off.
Yeah, so we'll add that in this for the civic center. So first item one is the visitors, approval of the minutes that we sent out. There will be a chance to read those. I can get a motion to accept it. Next, usually communications. Dave, where you might be yourself and what you have to say.
Sure. My name is David Warner, Chairman of the Vermont Government Coastal Association.
I'm sorry.
Vermont Government Coastal Association. Big Karen. What's it called? It's part of the people. Yeah, I'm here to answer any questions you might have about the facility hosting 2025 Vermont State Wrestling.
Oh, we're very excited about it, and it's very cool. I appreciate you everything working together to get that. So it's just great for the season. So the basketball has been huge thing here, very successful. Except the wrestling as well. Do you have any plans together for that yet?
We do. We did earlier this spring during basketball tournament. All PTA reps were here, and Nick and I walked through the building, and they're all in favor of facility hosting the tournament as well. So we've got to go ahead and them. It's important because they're responsive. So I think but making one some of the detail and I can get into the numbers or schedule or whatever. Well, if I said so even Thursday and take the rest of it out Sunday, that's possible. We roughly until 9:30. After having been in buildings, it's actually a lot of mine that entire accident. I consulted with the basketball concession people. They're confident that share that page for a few hours or anything involved. They all that there's a stories work together for that. Second to basketball, but the very different here. Just for the record, February 28th, Friday, Saturday, March 1st. I can, if you don't mind, Fred, as far as coming in on Sunday and picking up Max, that shouldn't be an issue. I'll be here whatever time you want to be here. That is very, I can be here as late Thursday night as well. There are, I understand, talking to Dave, there's over 1,000 people, quote unquote, spectators who come whole day, 1,000 people. And there's 100 and some odd wrestlers that come whole day. So, significant impact on the hill. I think an even greater impact down. I don't know how we're going to play that out, but I do plan on stopping at Cornerstone, Quarry, Fire, wherever else,
And I'm going to do the same thing. Going to have children make a Facebook page, perhaps some other electronic media stuff for the rest of the state to be able to go to and see what's available, like we're ready to do parking, situation here, inspect the downtown right here, all of this, probably clear, that they might want to do.
Okay, how many officials will be here each day? Officials? 4, just 4. When we do the, winter solstice basketball game, we have 4 games at the high school. We have there's an official who downstairs.
Yeah.
We provide beverage for the officials, certainly be happy. We'll be happy to do that again. We just want when people leave here on Friday and Saturday, they're gonna say, wow, that's a nice place.
Well, and that's for over as well, and, we take very good care of it. So, I appreciate it. Put that out, but we'll make sure that they're.
We sell t-shirts with it.
BPA.
BPA in charge of the, special teacher sale. We will get, they have a contract with a company out of Essex to supply the t-shirt, the whole facility, or school, or whatever you want to call it, gets $5 per shirt. The BPA charge, t-shirts.
Really?
Yeah. Or this vendor has to use.
Very cold, we're glad you're coming.
How much?
Excuse me.
Yeah, I haven't. I haven't come up with a number, but the second thing would be the, most people, dairy people, fornicated people. Walking around. Happening, it should be happening. If I had to guess, on Saturday, it would probably be 20 to 30 people working very.
I believe you're right. Set up a date. Kind of the knowledge meeting. Talk about it. So we should be here by the hopefully you know that I did this.
Sorry, did it?
Hopefully you have my name on the list already.
But, young life on the very difficult.
How, isn't he in charge of, contacting media, PTC, CAX, free press, et cetera? Who does that? You do it? The mayor? Do they come?
They come, CX will be here for the finals. They, typically don't come other than for the finals, because it's usually, there's a lot of playoff games going on that weekend usually, in the girls and boys basketball, so, but they usually make the point that they do show up in the finals, and they usually get it on that Saturday night, on the 11 o'clock news, so the PTG is there. Or, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I just had a question concerning managing the department. So it's not that this is a mid-sized group. We've got sort of on-site farming issues that will put here, possibly shuttle needs, something like that to the manager. And then the other issue is the hockey group using parking and the space on the same days. And we don't have to have all the answers to figure it out, but I would just say, urge us to think about how do we best manage the situation as we move forward.
Sure, there are people here. Something for us. Yeah. Just as a. Just a quick review of,
I learned from Mr. Baker in the years to keep copious notes because, you know, this is the water.
It does a lot.
Yeah. So, I've ran, this tournament for the last 5 years. Typically how it works, Wednesday before, we have a seating committee meeting that meets, I'm assuming it's usually the host town, so that'll be in Barre somewhere, some local establishment, that we have lunch and stuff like that. And we see each weight class, there's 14 different weight classes. Last year, we had 160 some odd entrants, male and female. We have a co-ed state tournament because our girls didn't big enough, large enough yet to stand on its own, although we last year we did it for the first time. Have the girls New England qualifier because the New England Council hosted a New England girls only championship. And we had a state of Vermont very well. The first time we had a champion and runner-up. Previously, yeah, third place. So out of the 10 or 12 girls, we had 3 places. So that was great. We just don't have the numbers for a standalone tournament. So the girls do wrestle the boys. Don't be shocked. And the girl out there is the boys. They're gonna do it. So we do that on Wednesday, Friday morning. Last year, the teams arrived about 11. We have a weigh-in period, coaches meetings, any appeals on seating, get answered in another meeting, stuff, so there's a little administrative stuff before the tournament actually gets going. We had opening ceremonies at 2, and we were done wrestling at 8:30 on Friday. One of the beauties of this facility that we're looking forward to is starting earlier in the day because we were at school. We don't have that problem. Usually the school is in session and they're opposed, we have to wait for the school to end. So we're gonna bump that back by a couple of hours. Hoping to be out of here by 6 on Friday. Saturday morning, we start off approximately at 10 o'clock, and as we said earlier, we got around 9 o'clock. So runs a little longer on Saturday because we have awards to hand out. We have an award ceremony for the final. We can give out plaques to all the kids who won 100 national award in their career. Give out a coach of the year award. Talk about some lead stuff. Any other thing last year that coach hired that took a little time, but so there's an award ceremony stuff, and we have our client, which we are one mat, so in the middle of it. So we wrapped up by 9:30 or so.
In reference to what Sue said with Saturday in particular, also thinking of Friday. I'm assuming we're all gonna get together and sit down and talk a little bit about strategy, i.e. I mean, there's gotta be 20 school buses that gotta be parked somewhere. Where they're gonna be parked, usually, isn't it out back here?
Yeah, I talked to, we probably not folks out, it's gonna be behind this different spot. We talked about the bus on 15 along that outside the ring. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then maybe using 4 spots for everyone on the side.
The other thing is, the municipal lot down on Summer Street.
Right.
Should be considered like a backup.
Yeah.
And just the Fair City Place, all those spots behind the Scarlet Street.
Right.
Those are not ticketed or these starting weekends. Right, but so can stretch out a lot and then we'll drop the kids off. Yeah.
I would point that out.
You put a sign down there on Summer Street.
Will sign?
I mean, everyone goes to Fenway Park. It's my theory, everyone goes to Fenway Park. They all complain about the parking, but they still go back.
Yeah.
I hope people come here and can't find a park, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it just shows the importance of the tournament, getting whatever. So, like Sue said, Summer Street's a great outlet.
Yeah.
And I mean, any idea of how many cars the buses would be held to are?
I think that lot was 280 cars.
I'm not sure about this one out here.
Plus, there's probably the hockey game that day on Saturday.
Should you consider it?
I have no idea.
The other lot is, the key band is no longer on, what's the big one?
But
I don't-
Montfett,
Yeah, okay, great. So right, that also is a municipal lot.
We're,
There's plenty of parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the rest of the city.
uh, folks around the state are pretty familiar with Barre because the last 30 years, 20 years. The other 20 or 30 years, we hosted the junior varsity state tournament at fall. And that's an event that's similar, if not a little larger than the varsity state tournament because it involved grades 7 through 12. And we get 1,000 people there. They can tell the bus drivers to park across the river on the student parking zone. They're familiar with logistic issues, if you will. So, I don't see that as being a huge, obstacle. Rutland folks are very, in the best band you'll see, there'll be no scuffle. They're respect their kids, everybody else's kids. They come for the day. If they eat some food in chairs or whatever, they take their trash down and put it where it belongs, they clean up after themselves. They know they know the drill. What I'm trying to say. You've got some experience, or not, they've seen it all, seen a lot of it, so. We have a bit ability to anticipate the issue. When that mom, what they have, when the JV, that'll be the weekend prior, so February 21st. Or 22nd.
Yeah. No, I understand.
It's gonna be around a couple.
We've been long couple of weeks.
All right.
Mike, right into good enough.
Yeah,
We need more than that. Yeah, we need 4 or 5.
how many men are you gonna put down? Two, just two?
We're still a 2-day tournament. We're going to go to a 1-day tournament to make something. We would need at least 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Given that it's a 2-day tournament.
we could fit a third one in there, but we lose so much seating. I thought we could do it, but then I learned, I didn't know this, but, the center section of bleachers, when you close those middle doors, bleachers span across, so if you close one side, you can't put the middle in, so you probably lose what you need to do. It, kind of defeats the purpose. We're kind of excited about this because, we're thinking we're gonna put the kids, are all athletes on the stage. Like where you sit the students for the basketball room, and parents and family, whatever the beat is fine.
Good. We do this is probably something we'll talk about later, but I have a question. Good, those bleachers immediately behind the storage table, and we do the winter salt, that's where all the basketball players sit.
Right.
I think you could accommodate. How many think Paul sit behind the storage table? 75 people.
Oh, one should be ready.
Yeah, right there behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figure it out. So I heard coming.
You've been around this tournament for a long time. Facility. Is there anything that the other facilities that you've been at have done well that we're happy with or set up or that you would like to possibly do? Facility or you guys know?
Well, that's a great question. One thing that teams seem to like, and I don't have in here, but we were out of Valley last year and they've done other places too. They would like give a class to each school, so they could put their stuff here and there, even. Yeah. So another reason I thought we could use the stage and kids could do all this stuff.
Well, see, I just thought. Couple things. About A and B and
Yeah. We can figure it out, what works.
yeah. Yeah, maybe this will be wrong. Certainly maybe.
The downstairs, partition, also.
We may be able to rent partition, I don't think we have any, but we may be able to partition it off, something like office partition.
That, you know, out there, it says something like that.
Well, you know, just
And,
here. You know, we all got for this. All. Yeah, so. Yeah, but they leave it laying around, walk away from it, get it.
if you're going to school at Wild Valley Union High School. See what they did just yesterday? They're got a great movement, they're moving going, kids can't bring cell phones to school anymore.
Yeah, Bedford Academy, so we're at two.
Yes, as well they should. I mean, teachers tell me it's sad, and kids come out of the classroom, they're passing each other in the hallways. They're doing it. They're not looking up, they're not talking to their buddies, they're texting back and forth.
Yeah. Back to your question. How many showers we got downstairs?
They've got 2 hours.
And I think there's probably 6 or 8 showers in each.
All right, good. Those are pretty important.
Yeah.
Thing for a restaurant, for shower. Although,
Haven't been around some turns, turns. We got one team in and then they get out another team go in. It's like.
yes,
And it's not like-
you know,
Well, it's nice to use, it's a key environment, and it's rare. After you win, you will not discover, after you win, you will not discover. Not like this, a whole key.
Yeah, they're different. The D1 wrestlers, wrestle against the D4 wrestlers.
Yeah, there's no,
we don't have one,
No, one division.
yeah. And back to the busing and thing, partying and stuff, you know, we have 20, I think last year we were over 26 schools because wrestling is also an independent sport. So you have kids that go to Linden or wherever. And they don't have a team, you know, it's just one person. So they're not, you know, maybe 2016, doesn't mean it's gonna be 26 buses. Obviously, you know, Spalding's not gonna bust everything. They're here, so, you know, maybe you're gonna look at what, 15 bucks, yeah, I'm holding 15, I'm thinking. So it's not gonna be, you know, 20. But, and some of those buses, they pull by, I'm like, Harwood, whatever, I'm sure the bus driver come, go home and then get a phone call, say, it's time to come back and get us. Last year, we started the season, we had 30 girls who started the season. And I think out of that number, I think a third of them possibly, I'd have to look it up, but yes, 8 or 10 of them participated in the varsity station.
Repeat, public announcement, person see there all the way along.
Yeah,
lot of speaking. There. And the national tournament, referee said that couldn't have steered. That could be one of the girls.
yeah. Good idea. Yeah, everyone who comes to this, how's the Wi-Fi here? Good. That's good to know. Good. And then HS will typically, you know, want the still camera shooting down and broadcast over their network and stuff.
So we have the two press boxes over there in our point,
Yeah,
so they can direct connect to Cat 6 and there's two press boxes and shoot down over there.
okay. And there's also a company or whatever that runs wrestling software that runs the tournament.
Yeah.
There's brackets, it gets advanced, and you type it in there, and it all gets printed out, and a linear copier also, access to photocopier. So that full wrestling or whoever we decide is going to do that, then that'll have to go to the Wi-Fi.
That's how the. Only like.
Okay.
It's.
Yeah. And, we didn't mention, it, we talked about the BPA being on board, but we've got to focus there too, right? Sure, yeah. So he'll act in the whole team, assuming he might be the site administrator. Yes, or whatever.
There's all the small rooms upstairs, have, lock on the doors.
Yeah.
Third floor here, there's a conference room as well. And there's 3 or 4 small classrooms that can be utilized for team locker rooms. I mean, when we get together sometime in January or February, we'll walk around and see what you fellows think about using some of this.
Yeah, no, that'd be very, very helpful. Like I said, we'll have a couple of coaching meetings, so that'll be important. For having some of the space for just fine. There's some space, you know, you bought the wire back and married. There's some space over there.
We're very excited to have you here this year.
But there's a lot of folks that I ran into who have heard about it and they're excited about it too, not just from here, but from other counties, but yeah.
And historically speaking, this will be the first time that it was the Norwich one time, and it was St. Michael's one time. Every other time. First time. Awesome.
What kind of area auditorium we've never thought of before?
Well,
Or was it?
it was, we talked about it from year to year to year. After having spent 2 days in Otter Valley last year for seniors, they're in a very concerned, but it was wall to wall, people, very difficult to be comfortable anywhere in it, you know. I said, oh boy, but it's a new time. We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll never be here for.
Yeah. Means I think the 5 years I've done this. First year we did it, and it was bad, but
The first year, you're pretty safe.
and which of course I think it was just in it was plenty of space, there's 3 floors, yeah. So, then we had COVID. So our numbers kind of dropped off, we had to give up, and now we've got back to our previous level of participation and stuff. And last year kind of proved that it's gotta be, we're gonna have to look at facilities that are a little bit bigger, so. We kind of like moving it around to try to go north, south, central, you know, give people a break, not having to drive like that, and it's not very, vice versa. We've gone for Trends and CBU, all over the place. We may have to seriously consider, okay, if your facility can't hold 3 mats, you can't. And one of the things that comes up inevitably in February, March, is it snows. So if it snows, we have to cancel the day. We will go on Sunday.
BPA will approve that?
Yes, they do. Yeah. So 3 years ago, we were at CBU, it snowed on Friday, just bumped everything forward, changed the schedule, then it started earlier on Saturday, but we canceled Friday and went Saturday to Sunday.
Yeah, I think we got Sunday reserves.
we can make it.
Want to throw that out there. Gotta have. Let me-
We're coming, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's,
Is Jay Nichols popping?
I don't think it's CJ, but Warren comes.
He does.
Yeah,
Did any of the old coaches come? Oh, yeah, Peter or Mike or?
oh, yeah.
Should we have an honorary section for the, well, what about that?
Well, to your earlier point about behind the scoring table. You know, I think, did you have 3 rows behind the scoring table last year for basketball?
Yeah.
I'd like to do that for all the VIPs, but you go certainly coaches and our staff, our recruiting staff, and they're all sitting down. I think that'll work.
It's gonna be fun.
It is gonna be fun. You know, I think this, I don't look this old, but, no, older than you. The first time I ever stepped on a wrestling mat, 1973, in the basement of that building. That's where we had practice. So, here we go. Yeah.
That's pretty neat. There is. Anyone else got any questions or you guys have anything else you want to address?
Well, talk about health, and obviously, you know, health is great to have. We have a lot of, folks who I think are gonna step up, and if we have a lot of things covered, we'll have the officials. We'll have somebody, you know, running the logistics of the tournament, the brackets, scoring, the PA announcer. Been a couple of folks who have, done it the past couple of years, and like it. They do it again. So yeah, we'll look for some help, but I don't think we can look at 50 people.
No, certainly.
So here and there,
We're hoping that our parents will high school and be that all.
Stay good.
Yes, a good question concerning ticket purchase.
yeah,
Are you going to have online, maybe reduced price tickets and then door prices so that you can get into the experience?
I have a virtual meeting with the BBA on September 20th. President committee meeting, so I'm sure we'll talk about that then. Last year, we got the big movement to go to online sales only. Otter Valley did do some sales at the gate because there are restaurant fans, believe it or not, who don't own a phone, don't want to own a phone, and want to pay cash for their ticket. So we're going to have some accommodation for that. And
They have taken money to that.
well, the whole.
Normally there's this, that's like increase in the price of, so you've got incentive.
The biggest ticket sale we'll have for this event will be all session pass.
Yeah.
Which is like $20.
Yeah.
Takes care of both days. So people buy that, ticket. And then on Friday, Saturday, because we do, for the final, we will, empty the building, if you will, empty the gym. So we can reconfigure the mats and stuff, and folks have to leave and then come back in. So, and that is usually a painless process, especially because the huge basement we have over there. So we're downstairs.
They're doing that with basketball this year, it's coming, rather than here, which we made, I think that,
Are you happy about it?
I don't know, I mean, when I was coaching,
Are you happy about it? No.
I think it's, it could be an accurate way to happen.
Oh,
You're gonna tell 1,200 people, go sit in your cars, because they wanna stay and watch the next, they want to stay and watch D3, I mean, I don't think everyone will vacate a friendly sort of way.
That's why,
So that over time for the stand and balcony, seat, roll, seat. And how to see.
Yeah,
Have I ever said?
and yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah.
No, sorry. No, you didn't.
all the money. Speaking of, speaking, you guys have a policy on, people bringing in, stadium chairs and stuff, or their specific bleachers, added things to the backs on them. You guys have a policy on that here?
Nothing on it.
Because our people do come for, 6 to 8 hour durations, right? A lot of them bring
Stadiums.
chairs.
What about,
No, like you said, in
make a distance? But it costs more to go up and sit in the balcony, the balcony chair versus sitting in the bleachers. $1 more, $3 more tickets.
I don't know.
Who sets the pricing on the ticket? Be Gary and bleachers? We thought
Then
that,
you get into monitoring, you got one ticket.
yeah,
I'm not crazy about being up there for this in that area.
Yeah.
But we could just keep it in the car, we have.
the
Birmingham first served.
back to a question a few minutes ago. I'm pretty sure, quite sure, very sure. Bernie Allen, is on this committee, who's not here today. He has a collection of folks that came in and helped with the winter snow, and I'm sure we'll get 4 or 5, well, everything from selling tickets, whatever you need. I mean,
I spoke with Brian,
good,
and I hope Paul,
good.
A lot of people are excited about this stuff.
on confidence.
One thing that we run into a little bit last year, that we do a better job, I say, running the tournament, is our handicap seating. The facility is small overall, but some of the folks that are walking, sitting. We need to, we're not in the area.
There's not a, there's a lot of value, television.
That wasn't the problem. The problem was then being able to access. And you ran out of seats, you had these, older folks coming in with, having to go around walking and stuff. Couldn't get through the crowd, they got the, no, bleachers. It wasn't well delineated.
I think at some point in February, we'll have to get a gym and probably
Yeah.
facility, get it set out.
Yeah.
It would be the bar, like, to your. Excellent. Dave, appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Very excited to have this.
Yeah. Forward with you. And if you've got any questions, you have my number, happy to get it. All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you. Folks, have a good day.
You too.
Sure.
Have a good one. It's great one for the person community and for us. So moving on this, just kind of want to take the next option, next thing is winter's coming in. A couple things.
Maybe I missed this, one of the minutes, oh, okay, sure. All right. This is.
All of it.
Okay, very good.
So in regards to that, there's just a couple things. One is it's out of order here, but not. The people are, Jeff is on here, he was the main point of contact with the Black Bears, figure skating and all that, and all of that. And we've got most of that covered, there's one follow-up. We got contact with those agreements, are they scheduling now, or how's, what's that?
I believe the one's been given a scheduling. She's been the point person for all the scheduling. We've been trying to shuffle around some conflicts already with figure skating and, there's a, boys and girls varsity game same time that they're supposed to be figure skating practice, so trying to work with the figure skating club because it's practice and games are EPA scheduled through for high school, so trying to work through those, but I believe she's been in touch. I can double check with her and let you know, but I believe she's been working on the schedule. You know, Brian Wilkins reached out to me too about offering if we need help with it. So, and Nicholas's son is on the Black Bear, so I'm sure he's all over that already. Yeah.
I'm not sure who's running the Blackberry, that's the sole player.
I don't know. It could be playing. I could touch base with playing too.
Yeah, no, it's no. Right, it's all kind of here with touch, you have to, so on. Make sure we're on all these people, we're obviously the last couple of years concerned about the Black Bears, it's kind of very related and all that. And we need a switch, and it's not all ranks around.
Right.
So, make it easy for other ranks to take more time.
Yeah.
Unrelated, the very day, nice.
No, at this point, we don't have it set yet. We're trying to coordinate it because I've got to get a lift in to replace light bulbs over there. So when the turf is coming out, I gotta get the lift in and follow it up before we start. We can turn on the cooler before we start putting the water down. We gotta replace light bulbs. And so we've got all the light bulbs here to replace. I ordered those, they're all gonna be LEDs, which you can't buy fluorescents anymore. So we'll be replacing all the light bulbs prior to the ice going in. And then, yes, it's usually right around the beginning of October. Yeah, so we're looking at probably around the first part of October to get the turf out. And get the lights fixed and get the turf put away and start the chilling.
It's not that. The turf, I guess, the original container don't work.
The original containers that won't fit in, so we were originally gonna go with like a Versatube garage. But I talked to a couple of contractors and they said it's gonna be cheaper to just have somebody do a stick build. Problem is, all contractors are pretty busy right now, so trying to find somebody to give us a stick build. 20 by 24 is what we're looking at. And so I'm working on that. I've got calls out to 4 to 5 different contractors. That's what the Versatube is. Yeah, so Versatube makes not only like the steel type carport, but they make a garage. And then you put your own sheeting on the outside. Unfortunately, the skill set of the staff here, it wouldn't be something that I would have to tackle. So we'd be looking for a contractor to close it in.
Yeah.
Some of the contractors prefer to just use nail guns and nail the wood rather than having to drill and tap into metal. So trying to figure out the best possible solution. It'll fit in a tractor trailer, but the shipping containers, the way the doors are set, the shipping containers, they're about 2 inches too narrow for the turf to fit in. Yeah,
All those tractor trailers that are down in front of the Ashton store. You know what I'm talking about? They look horrible.
It's where they fill the tires.
What?
That's what that guy uses for tires.
yeah.
Tires.
But it doesn't like go in something.
Yeah, we can use the tractor trailer bed, but the problem is that getting them up into the tractor trailer bed and then lifting it to set it on top of anything that's in there is, we just don't have the equipment to do it. We can't get a bucket loader in there, they're too wide. The Bobcats can't lift it high enough because of their size. Typical.
So forth and drop that in the ground, just, dry up.
Maybe, I mean, it's worth checking out. I've never asked about taking the axles and stuff off the tractor trailer bed, but it's not a bad idea to check it out. Because like the garage themselves, the metal is about $5,500 for the frame and the roof, and then you've got to sheet it, which is not ridiculously expensive, and then you gotta get the garage door put. The expensive part comes into the slab, if you're gonna do a slab, or you've got to build pressure treated floor. And the thought was something that the Bobcats could drive up in, because Bobcats are. We lifted one of the pallets in there last time with the Bobcat, and it was kind of working on its front wheels only because of the weight of the pallet. So they're not heavy, but the Bobcats, we have a really narrow and really small for the sidewalks.
We got 2 months to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's.
yeah, I've already talked to Dawn, and she's like, just tell me a number, but you gotta get a contractor that can also tell me they can do it for a number. Most of them are saying, oh, yeah, we can do it, but it may not be this year. It's like, but it's been out. We did talk about storing in the garage and moving the batting cages and storing down that end of the rink, at least in an interim, if we don't have that completed by the time we have to take it out. We do have an alternate plan. It's just, we'd like to just move it once and be done with it. Just, that'd be the goal.
So that's in the process. The VOR in general, are we getting ready for the season?
The locker rooms are done. Number 2, I believe, is, one of the problems is the hot water heater that was purchased and installed is the wrong hot water heater. So, I'm looking at the cost comparison of replacing that hot water heater versus going to an on-demand system that's not running 24/7 and no one is using it. And we already have propane over there, and we have electric over there, so it wouldn't be a hard retrofit to do an on-demand system.
Yeah, that's good.
No,
So upstairs.
yeah, right.
Would have to drive.
No, and I think an on-demand would, you know, because the ones that are in there right now are tanks. They're, you know, you're running that heating coil 24/7. If we could switch to on-demand, we already have propane installed in the locker room, so there's not a problem with the block or even an electric on-demand. Down on the mains.
Consider the showers. Yeah, you know, ever since the kid.
Yeah, I want some.
He is going on.
Yeah. 25.
Right.
Figured it all, so we're ready for one chassis.
Yeah. I know the men's league use them quite regularly. The men's leagues and when there's college players and stuff, they'll use them.
Still fairly strong.
Yeah,
Because other than that, we're in pretty good shape.
yep, we're redoing the benches right now. They're gonna finish painting the ticket booth when we come in to match the gray everywhere else. Working on some other projects over there, but nothing too major. I got them on, refrigeration is in right now, they're rebuilding one of the compressors, that should have been done 3 years ago. And so they're rebuilding that, that'll be done. Well, I expect to be here this week for the manifold. He gave me a ballpark estimate of about 250. I've reached out to Rob Ruther, because as we all know, the VR leaks everywhere. When the lacrosse tournament was in there, we had heavy rains for the July flood, and it triggered the fire alarm system, and everybody had to evacuate, and it was just a nightmare. So Rob Roofing and Morel are gonna be giving me quotes on a new roof, and I believe Nicholas and Don are planning on either bonding or doing a loan to do the manifold and the roofing.
Or what's not good on that? For the snowplows, or this next year?
The manifold will probably be next year, because it's gotta be fabricated. And then, that's gonna take a while. The roof, I'm not sure what, I haven't heard from Burrell or from Rod yet. I called them waiting for their system to come and measure.
They're busy too.
Yeah, everybody's busy, and everybody's short staffed, as well.
Very impressed by how much activity there is.
It's getting there, there's a lot that needs to be done.
So, one thing I had for Jerry is just the boiler.
Nicholas. Yes.
Yeah.
Nicholas was working on an RFP, like, he's been out with Goldberg right now, so I especially.
So that's a very slim chance that's not getting ready for this season.
I think it could be, I mean, if people are bidding on it, then. It's starting to be that the supply for the heating and ventilation equipment is coming in faster than, there was almost 2 year delay at one point. But we're finding that it's starting to get a little more accessible, people are being able to get stuff and. So
Obviously concerned that work goes down.
it's huge,
It's really not.
yeah, no, it's definitely a huge concern, and Nicholas been. Because he was the one that dealt mostly with the standards grant, so he's been working on the RFP to get somebody in here to replace it.
So if you don't get it in place, is there backup plan?
We're gonna have to have supplementary heat.
Okay, so has the Sanders funding been received?
I believe it has been received, Dawn said it's available, so it's just a matter of getting it forward. Yeah, she told me it's available. When I asked her, because they said, are we waiting on the money? She said it's available. So.
Any amount of votes,
3 million,
3 or 4?
maybe.
Okay,
I'd have to look. Nicholas is the one that dealt with it, so.
okay, right.
Yeah.
We'll take it from four.
Yeah,
Good.
That's great. That's really exciting. So now some of this stuff.
yeah. We're finishing up the front awning. That was a nightmare. Everything in there was completely rotten. The foam insulation that was in there, the foam board, you could literally squeeze it in water and drip out. It was that saturated. So they had to replace all the woodwork, the wood that's in there. So there's metal I-beams that come out, and then in between, and like floor joists. And that had to be that's all new because it's raw. With that, no, just saturated. The legs were all rotted and rusted, so they had to kill the power and take them out.
Could we see the report on Barre City invest its funds at this time, because I want them to be interested in that into this facility. If it takes a while for the work to take place, we might have areas of interest that would be very appropriate to place in
Yeah, I think that's something to talk about next week. Is the spirit, what direction we got. And where it's not getting done. They've started this great school report. Or something like that. And that's this. We have this, which is fantastic.
well, I don't, I have no clue how they tank a fund of this type. It should be.
Yeah, I think it varies on the funds.
Yeah.
And so I have to ask on them, because some funds, it's not, they don't give you the money, you have to do the work and then.
Yes, that's
So you don't actually get benefit.
I would really love to know.
Yeah, I just find out.
Yeah, the operations are good as very just the scope of work, it's gonna be.
And that's one of the things, because Barre Area Development is the one that did the initial grant, and they had EF Ball come in and do the walk around with them. And my concern is that was done 2 years ago. And obviously everything has gone up exponentially. And so I talked to Nicholas 3 years ago. Everything's gone up exponentially. I talked to Nicholas about getting like Benoit Electric in Norway to come in and revisit the electrical to see what that's gonna cost for an upgrade. And then getting bolts for the boilers. Because, Nicholas's ultimate goal is to figure out how we get AC in that building. You know,
Yeah, that's, I think the government was not thinking serious jump.
yeah,
That's a scary project.
yeah,
Sucks.
yeah,
Okay, well, that's great news.
yeah, so it's moving forward.
Okay, and I don't think there's really much that has to be done besides that, so in terms of getting ready for this building.
There's some mortar repair over there, some sealing that has to be done. There's a few things on the front stairs that are on the mess, there's some railings, the back stairs, those are all things we want to get done before that.
But there is not get done.
I mean, just after being in the VOR this summer, I had a couple things, but I don't know what like.
I mean, you can always come and meet me and I'll write them down.
Yeah,
They may already be on the list.
the big thing is, we went out to Essex in their stadium facility up there.
Yeah.
And they have this black netting attached to the top of the glass all the way around.
Yep.
And it's permanent, it stays there. I think, I'm just wondering about the transition, to hockey and then next spring back to the turf. If there can be some sort of permanent solution for the glass and netting. Rather than, I think, this past spring, we took out glass, we took out doors so that we could have some sort of show in there.
Yeah.
But then, getting the glass back in took a while, and then glass on the other side never got back in. It's a very small portion of the doors we have, but it makes a difference if you come into a facility and the rink is finished. So I'm just curious, like, if we're thinking we're gonna be taking stuff in and out, then maybe we can have a permanent netting solution of the boards. Or, if we're not gonna be doing that, then can we invest in, replacing all of like nets, because they're all very, obviously full system. I think that would. It would make us feel more contained in space, instead of missing a shot and it goes, gets in the net and all that.
That's the way we need to. Process. Hockey, get fans started. Football started. Get basketball.
So, I think that netting along, like where the stands are, I don't think that ever went back up.
No, they take it down usually in the spring, but there's no reason it couldn't go back up. There's no reason to even really take it down.
Right.
I don't know why it was taken down. I think it's just tradition that they take it down and it's probably just, they did what they always do. And
You gotta kind of, never used it like, not get the church, or never used like this before, so.
yeah, like, I mean, even the batting, when this happened, it was a nightmare because there was no planning. And so we would have batting cages put in for BYSA at 5 o'clock. They'd come in and they'd practice till 6:30. And then lacrosse would want it from 6:30 to 8. And then baseball would want it from 8 to 9:30. And so you're pulling the batting machines out, trying to put the batting machines back in, moving all the netting. The way that there was no pre-planning for how we were gonna handle that. And so next year, the plan is gonna be more, if we're doing lacrosse or soccer, it can be on this nights. And if we're doing baseball, it can be on these nights, because those batting machines, pulling 4 batting machines plus all the nets and all the barrels, it's a half an hour job.
That's you just. So I would suggest that, let's get ready for the hockey season.
Yeah.
And then once we get towards the end of the season, we get towards the tournament decision.
Yeah.
We gotta improve it, and then get a plan together. Yes, I should put it down and see that.
And I'm putting all this stuff down too, because my hopes is that we'll have a new facilities director. They started interviewing, so hopefully they'll have somebody, and all this stuff will get passed on to them, and then I'll work with them too, so. What's that?
You're not taking the position.
No,
Sure, if you're being the facility director, then you're doing a good job, so.
Yeah.
and I appreciate that, but it's, my work-life balance has dramatically changed, so. Yeah.
Just to keep this moving, because we're running behind here. Next item, we want to do a follow-up action, insert that here on digital sign. That's here last week, but there's a conversation on it.
Yeah.
We will work on it.
Just briefly, there is seem to be two items that we needed to touch on here as a follow-up. One of the items was that Matt, and you volunteered to do some work about short statements that would be appropriate for rotating down on the side. We sent a memo. I also wanted to make sure that we didn't drop the ball on seasonal management issues. And I recall somebody mentioned that they knew the owner of the property. We might start talking now. I don't have any relationship with this person, but I would really like us to get them to move the pile of snow away from the sign and closer to the restaurant if possible. So I'm going to give Matt the chance to follow up. But first, I just want to know, who was the person who said they had a relationship with the owner? Was it Bernie? Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't want this to stretch into when the snow is actually flying. It'd be really helpful for some person to take that on. And we'll take that conversation.
Topic we've had before, and I don't think they really. The chef could be doing that, because I think we've been that, I think. Maybe even going down and moving some of that stuff to everything.
The better chance he has of renting that space. I know. That's what I'm looking at too. But I always think it's a good idea to try, but it has to be the right person, somebody who might have a relationship.
Is there a number?
I'm gonna just, I'll get it out and see if I can. Okay, and then Matt.
That's not the cities. I think that's the states.
Oh, that's the states.
I think ours is up on Washington.
Can you say, Dark. Matt, you want to address what,
yeah, I think last time we talked, basically the managing the sign can be a lot, for example, like right now, there's still Vermont's propagated Saturday. Which I get really happy every time I have my cool. But, I think we wanted just a few quick messages that you could somehow maybe put on a rotation or by default, just to pop up here. So I put some examples of messages there. As I was drafting them, I was thinking like we needed, it's like a call to action, maybe we go somewhere after that. So the URLs, the different pages of the facilities that are mentioned are included there. It's just the URLs, the way they're written now, it's super long, that it's like extension at the end, .html, whatever. So we wanted to include URLs on there, we have to, gain a short.
So I did shorten the one that was for civic center rentals. It was like civic_center_rentals.html.
Okay.
Now it's just rent.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that'll be a lot easier to fit on the screen.
So that's verycity.org/.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, nice.
these are the streams on the website we're talking about.
yeah,
Shrine that, there's one word or.
that's what it is. It's, I mean, it has to, you have to go to the domain, which is verycity.org. You can't shorten that. And then it's just /rent.
So I can put that URL in each one of these messages.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then, who gets that?
well, that goes to the rental page on the website. And then on the rental page, they can look at the schedule and see when there's available time. And then there's also a way to reserve time.
Who is supposed to record that? Who's supposed to record that?
Pretty much me, if it's something to post, like I gotta get the blood draw for tomorrow up there. I got asked about doing the voting yesterday, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, it'd be, people tell me I put it up. I'm running around with the cemetery and I've got a tree guy coming today that doesn't have a trailer, which is the. Last thing, you have more trailers than you should, but I agree with you. It's kind of weird. Absolutely. Yeah, and with the rotational ones, the thing that's nice is that when I do rotational ones like that, they just kind of rotate through and
Does the software allow you to do that?
it does, yeah, I can rotate as many as I want through it. But the problem is, you've got with that sign, I've got to make a change up here. And then I go down there and I have to literally shut the system down. And then restart it. And then give it like 20 minutes to half an hour, and then it'll go and pull the new messages. Because it doesn't automatically update like it's supposed to, and I'm guessing it's just the way that the RF, the trees and everything is not getting there.
That's a major task.
Yeah, I mean, it's not huge because underneath there's just a toggle switch. Shut it off, count to like 15 and then turn it back on. But it takes like almost 5 minutes just for it to move back up. So it's definitely, it's not instant, let's just say that.
Well, I'm really excited. I think it makes the hills seem to be very alive.
Yeah,
And I'm very motivated to have that really out on the sidewalk, and thank you that for putting together some motivational messages, and thank you for
right, get those.
Thanks.
That's great. Okay, emails and signs. The thing is, supposed to be minus like, that is going to be where it is. Whether you go up another 10 feet and then 10 or something there that makes it work like it's supposed to.
I mean, yeah, and honestly, it should have been put on top of the auditorium. That's where it should have been.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the trees in the way,
It's right on the end of the locker room over here. It's behind this building. No, it's right here on the end of the locker room.
it doesn't make sense. If you can post that, eventually it goes there.
No, not without me shutting it down. It'll go there once it restarts. It'll come back again.
And it's receiving.
It's receiving it. It's just not updating itself without a reboot.
I agree with you, Paul, that technician, whatever it is, because you do have communication with it.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
There's something strange there.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you to bring your laptop, stand in front of it, locate it, location, you can communicate with it. There's something else.
Right. Yeah, and I
That's new, good, talking about, or I have your, that new.
I mean, it's probably me. I mean, it would have to be the city because I have to try to find contact information for them, but I mean, it can't be that hard, so.
Want to create more, but it does seem that you guys are now.
It's gonna be a little time.
Well, I didn't know. It'd be wasted.
No, Jeff would usually send the guys down to do it.
So moving on, next item, didn't want to talk, we talked earlier in the summer about the civics. Just get that. Maybe next meeting, that's kind of figured on that. Find that with, the Sanders grant, talk about that. So I was just wondering if anyone talked on, get with me. She did send out a package. March. Was there anything that you also wanted to see that wasn't on there? They think about some great chunk expenses, so we can get an idea of the operating costs for each building. Did the last. Is there anything else that we want to talk about, so we can get information?
The only thing I would say is that it just seems like we should at least get this information on a quarterly basis, so that we have a clear understanding of what we should be celebrating or what we need to work on. And we don't get information, I realize we're working through a period of time where we have some staffing shortages, but at the same time, since we're putting out wish list out, I very much like to have updates. And to not know that the Sanders money was received is a little disappointing.
So, I would think that, that's your soul, it's not gonna look at it, it's not the report that she did, it's averaging the same permanent work. And then, that's something that, that's not be here, discussion on.
When did that say?
I think March, she sent that out.
Was it sent to all of us?
Yeah. This one before that. Yeah. Doesn't have, I brought it, because it doesn't have, create. Looked at it at meetings, but I will, before that, actually, last time.
I know, they want. Yeah, we got it on the list. I know she's a little behind her now, being, she's the two staff people down, so.
But it's all along, it's, together, that's, broke it out, all the time that here. Pretty well for all along, right? But still, it's up here, expenditure, right?
Yeah.
And it's broke out to say, it costs $50,000 in the summer, and that goes out in the year, not here. But that was the things.
It's something that I expressed concern on too, because I'm coding it to either VOR or auditorium, and if they're
It's
not.
not fair, it's not expensive.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my thought, it should be parts maintenance, there should be a line item for parts maintenance or tool maintenance, and there isn't, it's all just. Yeah,
It's amazing, yeah. The bigger costs.
oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you can't, I mean, there's really no way to break out currently the way it's set up, and maybe when she's fully staffed, she can make changes to improve, parts maintenance, because that's a huge chunk of money every summer.
Yes.
I mean, I've been up to the pool at least 2 hours every day, and I had staff up there almost every day, if not every other day, for a couple of hours, and that gets coded to either auditorium or VOR, where it's on. Right.
Probably that back.
I don't think it is. I think if we talk about it with Dawn, I think she would make that change going forward. But the problem is if it's already into a budget year, she can't change it for the current year. But she could add coding so that it's clearly broken down. I mean, all it is just adding coding. So when we code time cards, we code it to where they actually were.
Discuss. Forward, if that does change.
And then related to the financial review, I know that budget is already happened, but you may have to rethink some of the pricing for rentals and other aspects of the use here because of our staff expenses.
Expenses are way up.
Yeah, and average operating costs are increasing every year. So the next time when we can talk about pricing increases would be for the next budget cycle.
You can do pricing increases anytime, it's have to be approved by council. I just made a bunch of changes to the cemetery pricing. When I looked at the cemetery pricing, I'm like, wait a minute. We're doing weekend burials and holidays, and it's costing us double time for people to do the burial, charging $40 difference. That doesn't make any sense to me. So those got bumped up significantly, and the funeral homes are asking us to bump it up because they don't want to work weekends. So they're like, if you bump up rates, and when I checked with Berlin and Montpelier, if you did a weekend, it's $400 more than a weekday. That covers the expenses, but $40 didn't even cover one employee for half an hour. It's crazy.
They get that like that, interchange, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as the financials, good, to do that, to join us, we'll discuss the rates and the investment, and it is the things we want to discuss, and let them know. Get on my work, Jim.
course of buildings. Starting off with, banners and dashers in the two buildings. Over the last 30 days, we lost one sponsorship in the Barre auditorium, Sun Common. Probably read in the paper, they flipped over here, not, bankruptcy and so on and so forth. However, just a week and a half ago, I sold that space to a company out of Waterbury, called Peak Mechanical. Perhaps some of you heard of them. So right now, the auditorium, or will be, the next time, before the next time meeting, will be full again with all the banners. The dashers, pretty much the same thing. We lost Rock of Ages of all things. Who assumed that the Granite Center of the world, aka Fair, would lose sponsors such as Rock of Ages. But Jim Cressy, the owner of Peak Mechanical, has stepped up and he's going to do a dasher over in their place. So that has happened. And we've also lost very chiropractic. Is that what I said? Chiropractic. Right. I want to bring that up because Kurt Healy, the gentleman that owns it, he's been sponsoring over in the BOR since 2011. Do the quick math, that's over $15,000. And I spoke with him just last week because we have, and Rick, this is something we'll have to put into play here. I think there's something like 5 dashers in the BOR right now that have to be replaced because they've been hit by so many trucks, there are pieces which have fallen out. So calling up Champlain Farms in Berlin, telling them they gotta replace the dasher, how much? It's just $650, $650 bill. Thank God so far. They've been moving along quite well. So Kurt's dasher comes down the end of October. I thought we would have a vacant space, but I was just told this morning by Rick that there's some pretty good interest coming from the folks up on Thunder Road. They may want to put a dash at the BOR. So, we're in a good place over there as far as sponsorship is concerned. Man, I want to tell you, if I may, find your email and all the suggestions, put it on the sign, top shelf, nice stuff, nice stuff. That kind of an entry is something I want to see if this could be done. I have 2 ideas of the day. Here's idea number 1. Would it be possible when a new sponsor commits to the BOR or the auditorium, could we put on the sign downtown, welcome Peak Mechanical, new sponsor of the Barre Civic Center, and leave it up there for a couple of weeks? Every time a new, you can't, that's advertising their business.
It's not specific to the getting what people want. It is, of course, an attention, but it would feel like a battle. And it can't, the sign can't feel like that.
This is advertising business.
It's a good idea.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Say, come see the new dasher. Yeah.
You know, as much as I like working here, there's so much bullshit that happens outside. I mean, walk around the auditorium. There's not a decent it's embarrassing. There's not a decent entryway, very auditorium. Concrete all the way around. People. I mean, this is the very civic center that looks like shit. For 7 years, I've heard we're still working and all right, so much for my, Mr. Speaking here. Here's my other idea. Ever since we put the turf in, I get questions. How are you advertising the turf? How are we going to get more people to come and use the turf? How about this one? What if I could send an email out to all the sponsors? I'm a big believer I don't think catering is the right word, but Halloween, I'm not sure, but I would like to be able to send out an email to all the sponsors and say, the Barre Civic Center is making available to you a sponsor, 2 hours, complimentary 2 hours to come to the BOR and use their turf. You can play rugby, you can play field hockey, or you can just have a little kid running around playing tag. It would, couple of the people that are on that mail list are in the BYSA, and they might see, we are going to get people up there. And I think it's good to show the sponsors who pay us thousands of dollars every year. These are ways in which we can show our appreciation. So I would like to be able, before the season, before the turf comes out and skating starts, to send out an email to the sponsor saying, and certainly Rick or John will look at it first. Hey, come on up to the yard. See, if you want it to be a lot, have some fun. Have a company picnic there and just enjoy what we have for the city.
Yes, sir.
I can't hear
I'm not a guest, sir. The same thing last time.
it. Well, I don't think you could because the ice time gets used a lot more than it does right now with the turf. But yeah, I would, heck yes, I would, maybe we would do something, you know. All sponsors have, take a Sunday off in February, all sponsors invited to come in, free skating, so forth. But right now,
They do it, it's all one time for all the,
yeah,
because of the turf. It's in there, it's the first year or something. Yeah, I think it's a good idea for the church to get people up here, that wear it. And it's not,
you know what could happen? It could bring about new business. I mean, if I send a letter out to the Garrison Arena, you're East Montpelier, so Joey brings his whole crew in, and they can play cross. They can play, I don't know if we open up the batting cages, that'd be too much, but what else? Soccer, yeah, you could have a fun day, and a sponsor gets 2 hours behind them. They may call the sun in 2 months, say, then I rent an hour, or have a company picnic there, or this fall. I just think it's an opportunity to say thank you, and also to promote business.
At our mutual, working meeting last night, we had a candidate from the very top record board. I mean, probably just all started watching. The BOR. I know we getting involved. Hockey, we were going for. We'll be reading on that product. Something.
who, you know, we talked about that, the very,
Yeah, it's one, it's,
yeah, I mean, Johnny, who came down here and with us. I just started investing in
no,
they have it forever.
they have a director that's supposed to be coming on board towards the end of August. Cause he came up here to meet with me, to talk about it. They hadn't seen the turf yet, so I brought him over, we walked around on, it, showed him around. Told him that, you know, I'd love to see like a cornhole league or whatever to be in there. And I also had a long discussion with Nicholas and Don about hiring an actual dedicated rec director, because I think there's a lot that could be done that's not being done because we don't have somebody. And I know a person that's really good, that really would love it. They're just waiting to become a director.
And that's where that issue, right? Yeah, the requirements. This place out there, it's very impactful.
So from what I understand, Nicholas reached out to Chris in Marytown to say, hey, we wanna work together on recreation and all this, and from what I gather, what I've been told, and again, I don't, it's secondhand information, so not. I don't know who said it, but basically the Barre Town Select Board said, now we're not interested at all in working with Barre City, so that's the end of it.
So. How long would it take for this committee to decide whether or not I could send an email blast out to the sponsors, giving them whatever, articulating the fact that you're welcome to use a complimentary 2-hour time in to do watching. That's in there now. Cross, soccer, tag. I mean, just bring your whole staff in. Have a
I think it's great.
I can't do it.
I think it's great. I don't think we're gonna lose business with them if they're planning on renting. So I think it's a great idea to get in there. We have to do it soon because the ice is coming.
That's why I'm asking.
So I mean, that's something that's been going on and basically.
And we're also running into football time. Football is already, BYSA football is already setting up time for the next month.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. If they call and say we want to come up and you say, gee, you can't because it's booked.
Let's take another time.
Is that something that we need the city involved in that? Is that something that should go on? Right.
I'm not really sure. I'd have to ask. I mean, I would think that. I mean, I can't see why Nicholas non wouldn't support it. It's just that we need to make sure that when it shows LaCare's Marine as rental, that we don't bill them for it.
And it wouldn't take priority over branding.
Right, if it's rented, it wouldn't, but I mean, I know like Nicholas has come up here with his kids to play soccer because it's just, there's nobody in there.
Do it, and that's what we're doing. So, yeah, I agree. I agree. So. Saying that, well,
Oh, I just had one question, that is, it seems like it's there and it feels free when no one else is jogging in position to use it. But what are the staff responsibilities for, like, being there to host the building, or is there a cost that we need to think about?
there would be cost of someone that would be there.
Yeah.
That's the door.
So,
So there.
so just opening, closing, scheduling that.
So, I mean, you think you get 10 people to take it, 20 people to take it down.
I don't think if you, to be honest,
Just a,
I don't think many sponsors are gonna jump on that.
it's a nice thing.
It's just an idea. Well, that's nice. And then when the time for them to re-up on their dash, they're gonna be more crap. So, I mean, it's the kind of.
Right, and that's,
Possible. Maybe 10, that's throw.
You're the general, the senator there.
Well, that's right. This is what I got concerned. My first point was, I get EISA. Remember when they came here 2 or 3 months in a row and they were, how come we can't get more people in the turf and good question. Then I voted, that possible added business number 3, how do we serve and do I have to be there? That's exactly, which someone just added. But, you know, who's going to open the door and shut it? Me.
So if you have a vote for this right now, if you have a vote for this right now, you're scheduled with the city, you'd be fine with having someone there for that time for this purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's what the committee voted. I talked to Nicholas and Don and say, any issues with it, and if not, then you just schedule somebody to be there to cover that.
And that's somebody to be one for the fun.
We want somebody qualified, Jim.
Like I said, that would be me once in a while.
This is ours. Because we don't have working hours for the city. Yeah, so.
I mean, if it's working hours, the BOR, like, you can go over there right now. BOR is wide open, anybody can go in there and play or do whatever they want.
I was gonna ask them, if they're trying to do this, if it need to be normal business hours in the city.
Yeah, I think stating those specific days and hours in your invitation would make a lot of sense.
Motion here, weekends, when people are out, do it on weekends. Not a problem.
I mean, I don't think it would be a problem. Our staff can cover that. It's just, I'm thinking if you're a business and you wanna do like a barbecue or something, you're not gonna wanna do a weekend, because everybody's going.
Just get people there.
Yeah,
Monday through Friday, maybe it's Saturday, but yeah.
I'll make a motion, you guys just tell them. Yeah, we want to have it. Whatever, I need to go to 5 or some of those acceptable one would be on Saturday. I think a lot of people are gonna want to. We even want to, you got kids, you know, have them as friends, or get involved. They get into that, they're.
I don't think many people will take advantage of that. The point is, the offer's been made. We look good in doing it, and it will help with sales going forward. So where you want to put in the offer, Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, 8 to 5, or something like that. I would probably, I wouldn't do 8 to 5. I go just the opposite. I do 5 until 8. Put some constraints on it. It's only available 3 hours a day, from 6 to 8. So you have, I'm talking more evening, nothing on the weekend, problem with that.
I mean, it's just overtime. That's gonna be the problem.
Well, I'll be here all the time. But I'm only gonna come and do it if you let me put welcome new sponsor down on the sign on Main Street. There's a little give and take.
We're now mixing issues. So let's just board 7, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve. Yes, in the BOR, I guess. Sure. Facility, 2 hours. Yeah, hours, 2 hours, great. Thank you, Steve, for 2 hours. 3 hours.
And I was saying this now.
Okay, so 2 hours? 2 hours. Is between the hours.
Why does the mathematics go out like? Then 2 hours, we're gonna do 4 and 7, which is 3 hours. 4 is.
Right, you're gonna have,
2 hour block between.
Yeah. You want to make it a 3-hour long?
I don't know, how about, I work with Rick, we try to figure this out on time and so on and so forth.
I did a lot of that discussion.
And I thank you, but I'm not sending an email until Rick and Don.
So we got a motion, second.
Okay, so hours to be determined. Okay, here we go. This is what I have. June to invite sponsors of BOR families to use the facility with the winter it's a term specific promotion for 2 hours free of charge during the month of September.
If I may, it's not just for sponsors in the BOR, sponsors in both.
Okay, and okay, great. To use the facility with the winter is during the month of September.
Why?
get a step. Got a guy here from the insurance company do boiler inspections, so. Get a little.
Sure, has there been any movement on the executive session? Meetings. Subject, executive session.
I've given it to Don and Nicholas. And I haven't got a response back, but I'll find out, and I'll reach out. Yeah,
And I sent a summary to the various people. I sent a summary of that session and the recommendation to the people. Yes, received it.
so I'll follow up with them and they should respond back.
I got two more items here.
Jim, catch up with me if you need me.
Okay, thank you. We're very close to, these are a couple of events in the, auditorium. They're way late, but anyway, I've been on the telephone with the assistant women's coach at UVM. Remember, they come in for some reason, they're looking at Friday, October 4th, 6 o'clock at night. Nobody will come. I don't think we'll get about it, just the fact they would be down on the side. People see it, the most important, how many times a big sponsor say, let's get events in doing it all the time, so that'll work. And then also, I have there are two Division I high school basketball teams, women's and men's, coming in here from Mount Mansfield Union High School and Essex Junction High School. They're coming in on, if it's available, on the 24th of January, which is also a Friday night. We have two games, girl game or boys game, 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Now, here's one I'm working. This could be real financial success. I think it could bring you more money than any other event that's brought in the auditorium like 7 years. 3 weeks ago, watching television, there was I don't call it a convention, but there was a show, a program in Burlington, where 2 or 3 dozen tattoo artists gathered in a hotel in down on Williston. And scores of people came in and had tattoos. I mean, the clip on Channel 3, there were people like this in the hall. So that's my word, very unfamiliar. So I went downtown and up over, it was a nice jewelry store down. Wobbies, thank you. Up over Wobbies, there's a tattoo artist, it's a bird buried in Eden. And one of the guy's name, I don't know. So I talked with him, he's the owner, and he said, yes, they had one in South Burlington before. St. Albans has a small one in the fall. I said, do you think something like this would open very auditorium? Did that? You sure did that. Yeah, I think it would go very well. These tattoo artists come in for a day, pay $400 or $500. They had over 20 of them already. Do the math. That's a pretty nice piece of change. But the but to this is, what happened is we probably, if we were to do it, it takes a little more planning. It would be like April of next year in the auditorium. I also, when the Barre Festival was going on a couple of weeks ago, my wife and I came down and I spoke with a lady from Burlington. She had a booth where she was painting Mickey Mouse on kids' faces and so on and so forth. I said, what do you think of this? I think it's a grand idea. You come, absolutely. And she said, I had her business card. I will make contact, but I think we get anywhere from 10, 20, 25 different artists into the auditorium. I guess the catch to that is you got to provide electricity to all over people, but anyway, this could be a big, and pushing on that, going to rest for a couple of months, but that could be something we could look forward to. Change.
2026.
2025. What's coming? And not to make it boring, another one, a friend of mine that I went to school with Moby Dick with Minnow, over at Johnson. Named Richard Tweed. He was the gentleman that started the first ever quilting. Conference. They did it in Norwich, Army. Where they had quilters from all over New England and then home. No one does it. I spoke to a lady, one of my neighbors was on the lady. Listened to her for about 45 minutes. She showed me a dozen quilts. She thought, yeah. Quilting conference up with the auditorium. Looking to get the people who are into it are very good. So that might come, but anyway, I'm pretty excited about this tattoo. So that's it. Quilting slash love. Hooker. Maria Hooker? Yes. I'll mention that to her next time that
So just I love the fish.
You love what?
The Northfield Village, I used to go there. It was moved for a while to the fairgrounds in Essex.
Yeah.
And then also, Marianne, Hodge, moved, cooking shows to the labor hall for a very short amount of time, 4 years. But that disbanded. So there is definitely, there's an interest in Central Vermont that isn't fulfilled up there in America. I think it's a good idea.
The piece that when I'm talking to Jane, they, quilters, poker, didn't have to pay the time. And I said, where's the revenue come from? She said, it's the company, I don't know if it was like about stone saw, making a quilt, but she said upstairs in her house, they quilting machine. That's 3/4 the size of this table. They're out of Maine. And they come with all these things, and they pay heavy bucks to do that. So, yeah,
Good.
look at how good it is. Where's your pet?
That sounds great.
I'm surprised it's not gonna take the thing out of the action. You know, like corporate tattoos and.
Yes, respond, we get a great thing to do, people are tattoo. Okay, let's wrap this one up, thanks for your patience. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. That's what it's saying. And have facility. Yeah. We're really impressed. Yeah, they places. So there.
Making our eyes better.
With the lifesavers. I mean, what's nice about it is that it's slippery, you know, but it's also. It's already.
Yeah.
Straight. The easiest one.
Sure. And they,
Yeah, it's, it is, it's an involved risk, and it's all, you're right, I say, yeah. Years, yeah. It's, this is. Fair enough. Yeah.